Thanks so much, Kevin. My name is Michael Reeves. I'm a technical director here at Bitdefender. Really appreciate you guys having us on here, and going to talk a little bit about who Bitdefender is. We're going to talk a little bit about how do you secure your environment against attacks, and then we'll close out with just who or how you purchase Bitdefender, and then we'll close it up. So. Let's talk about Bitdefender. And Bitdefender's in the endpoint security business. We are a security focused vendor that was created in 2001. Our engine is based on machine learning, so we are a next gen vendor. But when you think about critical requirements of endpoint security, I say that there are three areas that you want to think about as you think about securing your customers' environments. The first area of security that is well known today is in the area that I call prevention. And this is where, in the security field, your automated security controls live. This is where your software resides in your architecture. And what you want in this particular area of endpoint security is you want really good efficacy. In other words, you want to have your software and your automated security controls working across multiple threat vectors, whether they are network-based, whether they are web-based, whether they are what I call object-based, in other words, file or fileless. And the reason why you want really good efficacy in this area is it reduces the workload for your human resources in your business. So if you're in charge of securing your customers' environments, there's a trade-off between automated security controls and your human resources. And so what you want in this particular area of security is you want really high efficacy. In other words, block as much threats or as many threats at this layer of your security architecture as possible. That reduces the number of incidents that your staff has to deal with. It reduces the number of breaches, and it is the quickest response area of a security architecture. I'm a big sports guy, along with driving my Jeep and playing bass guitar, but I love sports. And when I think of this area of, like, for example, team sports, so right now the World Cup's going on, we've got football going on. This is basically the defensive area or the defensive part of the game of team sports, whatever team sport you like to follow. So this is your defense, and you want your defense to be as robust as possible when you're building a championship team. The second area of that is really critical in endpoint security is what I call the offensive area of security, and that is your detection and response part of your architecture. This is the human area of security, and any threat that moves through your defense is going to encounter, hopefully, your offense in this space. So this is the detection and response. It could be referred to as endpoint detection and response. It could be the newer term XDR, which is extended detection and response. But basically what this area of your architecture is the human element of security. This is where the humans respond to various threats that bypass the prevention layer of security. And what you want in this particular area is basically two things from a solution in this part of your architecture. Number one, you want really good visibility for your humans. And I call that correlated 360-degree visibility, where you can continuously monitor your endpoints, monitor your email, monitor your network, monitor your Active Directory or Azure AD, your identity provider, so that the humans have a complete picture of what is happening in your environment from a threat perspective. And with that visibility, Then give them area number two of this part of the architecture, which is how do we respond to those threats? So the ability to respond to whatever the humans see in their consoles. And this area, again, is the human area of security. You can either insource this, so in other words, your own staff can manage this part of the architecture, or you can outsource this area of the architecture to an external entity, some sort of MDR or managed detection and response type service. So this is the offensive area of the game. The third area is one that most companies don't think about, but is really, really critical. And I call this, it's kind of like people don't think about the special teams in football or the midfield in soccer, where it's the transition between offense and defense, but it's a really critical part of the game. If you've got a really good offense and you've got a really good defense, but then your special teams keeps turning the ball over, or you can't kick field goals, or whatever the case may be, if you're a football guy like me, this area of security is really, really critical. And I call this security hardening. It's the ability to analyze risk in your customer environment and then know exactly how to remediate those risks and really harden your environment to make it more difficult for threat actors to get a foothold in your customers' environments. So it's reducing the attack surface. I liken it to everybody's shopping right now, and if you don't shop online, you may go into a mall. When you pull into a shopping mall, what do you do when you get out of your car? You close the doors, you roll up the windows, you turn on your alarm system. That is what this area of security is in the architecture. It's basically closing the door to your car to make it more difficult for threat actors to get a foothold in your environment. So where does Bitdefender come into play in all of this? We cover all three areas of security. We cover the prevention layer, we cover the detection and response layer, and we cover the security hardening and vulnerability assessment. All three of these areas of endpoint security are built into a single multi-tenant platform that is very easily consumed on a monthly basis. It gives you the opportunity to grow your revenues by adding various add-on layers of security. And so really looking forward to talking to you about this in our breakout sessions. We'll be giving away $50 Shell Gas gift cards to the first 20 people who complete a demo. All you have to do is send an email to ipsm@bitdefender.com, reference channel program December pitch, and you can learn about Bitdefender and receive a Shell Gas gift card. So appreciate your time. Thank you very much.